Hi, good evening, and thanks for tuning in to the Milford Select Board meeting, December 18th, 2023. We hope you all survived the severe weather that we had today leading into late this afternoon. The town was very busy trying to keep up with it, and we hope everybody fared well with it, the best that they could do. Anyway, before we start our agenda, I'd like to entertain a motion for the signing of the warrant.
Chairman, I make a motion we sign the warrant for November 30th, 2023.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
And I make that unanimous. Thank you. Also, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the November 30th, 2023 regular Select Board meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve the minutes of the regular meeting of November 30th, 2023.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
Make that unanimous. And also a motion for acceptance, approval of the December 4th, 2023 regular Select Board meeting.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes for the regular session, December 4th.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
I make that unanimous. And one more, a motion to approve the December 7th, 2023 Select Board meeting.
Make a motion we approve the regular session meeting minutes for December 7th, 2023.
Very good.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
Make that unanimous. Thank you. Next on the agenda is a public hearing. A public hearing at Cougar Guru Corporation, who's doing business as West Street Liquors of 61 West Street. They have filed for an application for approval of an amendment to its retail package store all alcoholic beverage license for a change of stock interest. Mukesh Kumar Patel is purchasing the shares of stock owned by Pravin. He will now be the sole stockholder, and legal notice was published in the December 1st, 2023 meeting, and all paperwork is in order. We also have his application, and various department heads have reviewed it, and of course with the building commissioner, it's RA zone, it's pre-existing non-conforming use, it's business use and occupancy classification. Building is not accessible, there's no public restrooms, which is okay. You have a town planner, no changes in actual use, which is okay. Tax collector, no outstanding taxes. Town treasurer has no objections. Fire chief has no objections. Police chief has approved this, and Board of Health has no objections. We do have the attorney for the clients, the applicants, John Moradian. Attorney Moradian, you're on.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Very
Thank
well,
you.
thank you.
Yeah.
John Moradian, the Marcus Law Offices. This is amendment to liquor license for a stock transfer. Mukesh Kumar Patel is buying out Pravin Patel, his interest in the corporation. That's the only transaction tonight. There are no other changes to approve the stock transfer.
Right. Okay. I see everything is in order, Attorney Moradian, and financing and et cetera. And I guess everything is a go, unless one of my colleagues have any questions or concerns regarding this that they could ask you.
No, Mr. Chairman.
No? Michael, no? Okay, I think we're all set, Attorney.
Is there anybody else that wants to?
And then, okay, where this is a public hearing, is there anybody else from the public that's either on or here? No one here, there's no one on, Andrew? Okay.
Make a motion that we allow the amendment to the retail package store all alcoholic beverage license, transfer of stock, Cougar Guru Corporation, DBA West Street Liquors, 61 West Street, Milford, Massachusetts.
Excellent.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
Very good, and I make that unanimous. All set, Attorney Moradian, thank you so much, and good luck to your clients.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
You too, thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we do have a scheduled appointment with our police chief, Robert Tizzino, who will be discussing the Yellow Dot program. The Yellow Dot program is a sticker that's placed on the rear window of a motor vehicle that alerts first responders that an occupant of the vehicle may have a medical or behavioral condition. Information about this condition will be in the glove compartment of the vehicle. Chief Tizzino, can you explain this a little bit more for us?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. What's that? You got it? Can you hear it? So this video we're going to watch, this is the Yellow Dot program. I think it would do us a service, if we just watch this first, and then I'll explain exactly, there you go. So this is an officer on a car stop with the Yellow Dot program.
Participants will place the provided yellow dot decal on the driver's side rear window of their cars. In the event of an emergency, the yellow dot decal alerts responders that critical medical information is in the glove compartment of the vehicle. Beginning tomorrow, 12/7 at 2 p.m., those interested can come to the Milford Police Department to pick up their sticker and information pamphlet.
So what you saw is how the officer would interact and see the yellow dot. And what I have, what you have before you is actually one of the yellow dots. And the envelope that coincides with it goes into the glove compartment. Breakdown sheet of any medical illnesses, what they have for recent surgeries, what they have for medicine. And this is really a big deal. And so why this is so important and why we're so behind it, this was an initiative that was brought to me by Detective Sergeant Kevin O'Loughlin and Dispatcher Jake Cadino. They found this program out there, they brought it to me, we went over it. A million years ago, it seems, when I first got into EMS, they have what they call the File of Life program.
Okay.
And we still use it a lot in EMS, right? So if I go to somebody's house and we don't know really what's going on, we don't have a good history, there's a file. Usually on the refrigerator in a magnet in a red plastic folder, little folder that goes there, and we pull it out. And it's got their medications, their allergies, drug interactions, past medical histories, their contact information, and we can grab it. And that, as from the medical side, just tells the tale. So we also run into that problem, though, people in motor vehicles. It's more than one occasion somebody drives off the road and you pull up and you think that this happened or that happened, and they're really suffering a medical emergency. It could be a seizure, it could be diabetes, it could be they could be predisposed to having a stroke. So this is invaluable. It's going to tell the officer and the first responders right away that either the operator or somebody in the car has a mental health crisis or medical conditions, medicine that they're on, because a lot of these people that suffer a severe catastrophic medical emergency don't have the ability to communicate. They're on the side of the road or they're in an accident, okay? And this here is going to save time, and it's going to save lives. One step further. If you or somebody in your family or friend, let's say is, severely autistic, and we're going to know that that might be a possibility because we're going to see this yellow dot. So we approach the car, and it might not even be the driver. It might be the person during the passenger seat, somebody in the back that, okay, we have to take that into consideration, that somebody's outward behavior, their outbursts, or their reclusive behavior, they're not trying to cover up a crime. They're not trying to, conceal what they're doing. You know what I mean? They might be severely autistic. They might be epileptic. So this is going to give us the heads up, the red flag, okay? And we're going to be able to go one step further in treating people and just bringing awareness, right, to what's going on with us in the interaction. The other thing, too, is you see a yellow dot, and if somebody suffers from seizures, well, guess what? Those lights will trigger a seizure. All right, so you're going to know that, wait a minute, we need to turn the lights off. We need to turn the front-facing lights off. There's a bunch of things that we can do to make us more aware. Knowledge is power. Understanding is power. And this, I believe, will help us mitigate any potential bad interactions and misunderstandings that typically can evolve on a traffic stop. Okay? This is a way of kind of bridging that gap.
Excellent. Good explanation of that, too, Chief. Like I said, in a situation like that, time is of the essence.
Huge.
It is huge, and it gives the first responders there, like yourselves or whoever, a chance to assess what's going on, like you said. I mean, could it be something that needs immediate attention? Is it something that, we don't take as someone that's trying to hide something or anything like that? So it really solves a lot of issues that it solves answers a lot of questions that you more or less would pick up during a traffic stop or an accident, or
Or a missing person. You
or
have somebody
miss-
with, with
right.
Alzheimer's, and you have I had a gentleman at the cleaners. He walked into the cleaners, and they called us, and I showed up, and a very pleasant gentleman. And he had all the right answers except where are you going, where are you coming from. He was all the way from Randolph, and drove there.
Yeah,
No reason to be in Milford.
No.
Didn't know anybody in Milford.
yeah,
And we had a hard time getting family. He didn't have a cell phone. We didn't have a... So this information, right, grab it right away.
Yeah,
boom,
perfect.
Right down,
Perfect.
you know what I mean? And we
Yeah.
finally got a hold of his son, and his son was very grateful. You remember the case. But this is going to eliminate... That took hours to reunite him with family. Okay? This is going to take minutes.
right. It helps you guys save lives and also prevent a lot of aggravation.
Absolutely.
As well. It's a great program, and thank Sergeant O'Laughlin and the Camino boy,
We've done a lot of work with this.
right, to get this program going, and you, of course, taking the ball and running with it, and we thank you for that. Any comments, questions?
No, I just
concerns
commend the
from,
department. I think,
Yeah.
as the chief said, they've gone from the vial of life, and he's just brought it right down to the street level. It's another component of people's everyday lives, right? If they're not home, that information isn't helpful to you. I think putting this out there to the public and affording them, because there are people that I know will use this program, as they have so many other things that we've done to assist people in the toughest times. Great job.
Michael?
Mr. Chairman, if I may, please. Chief, to me, once again, this is, and let me back up to our new website that was designed by the Milford Police Department by Jay Cavino.
Yep.
And as you know, the first scene on the website is the Zoom meeting, I'm sorry, the Zoom camera going into the front doors of the police station. And the purpose of that, as you explained to us, is that the police department is a welcoming place.
Absolutely.
Not a place where you go,
No.
yeah, sometimes you have to go there if you're, you do something wrong, but the image that you're trying to project is that, we're here to help. It's a very welcoming community. You did it again at Halloween with the opening of the lobby, and this here, again, is just another example of where the Milford Police Department, to me, is trying to turn that stigma from where, whenever you see us or wherever you're involved with us, it's a negative, and it's not, it's a positive. And to the point that you just made is that if somebody is in the vehicle that might be suffering from seizures or having a seizure, and the officer to be, aware of and kind enough to say, you know what, let me go shut my lights off. It's just another example to me, and should be an example to the community, that, the Milford Police Department is there to help. Very welcoming, and it's programs like this, that when an officer walks up to the back of the car and sees that sticker, automatically he or she knows, okay, wait a minute here. Yeah, they did go through a red light, but here's, and go over to the glove box and say, okay, and change the whole situation. Let me get you some help. It's gonna be okay.
Absolutely.
So again, I want to commend everybody involved, particularly Sergeant O'Laughlin and Mr. Cavino, and everybody in your department, and yourself as well. It's just another example of the great work that we do in this community. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. Thank you. Next on the agenda is Town Administrator's Report.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just 3 quick items tonight. Fire Chief Mark Nelson has informed me the Birch Street Fire Station lighting project has been completed. The interior and exterior lighting, he informs me, is much brighter. Hopefully, we're expecting a decrease in the electricity cost to the town. Second project I want to update the board on is the renovation of the exterior of the old Purchase Street Fire Station. We've installed a new roof. The siding has been repaired, so the building has been buttoned up for for the winter. Also, trees have been removed from the area surrounding it, and neighbors are even complimenting it's a much better aesthetic-looking building, and there'll be additional work going on that. Final item is I want to thank State Rep Brian Murray. He secured an earmark for the town of Milford in the amount of $35,000. This will be used for the purchase of replacement fire hose for the fire department. As always, we're most appreciative of Brian's efforts on behalf of the town.
Very good.
And that's all I have tonight,
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Any questions, concerns? No? Nothing? Any old business? Michael?
No, Mr. Chairman, I do
don't
not.
have any either. Next would be the new business, and again, we have our Police Chief Tizino here that would be requesting a reduced speed sign on Nancy Road, and he has a short email to our Town Administrator, Mr. Valani. I respectfully request the Honorable Select Board to reduce the speed limit on Nancy Road to 25 miles per hour. I believe this measure will reduce the potential traffic hazard during the morning commute. Chief?
Yeah, so this is in response to some community members that reached out to me, reached out to the board. We put the traffic box out there, which, that's where the rubber hits the road. There's no getting around the traffic box. And what we found out is the enforceable rate, so right now, currently, believe it or not, the speed limit is 30 miles an hour. And the problem that we have is, if you're standing on the road in a thickly settled district, 30 miles an hour seems like 80 miles an hour. Okay? So that's why we put out that traffic box. And, the data that came back is there's really not a lot of people going over 30.
Right.
And our enforceable ratio is less than 1%. So how do we mitigate this, right? And there are a lot of houses in that area. It's definitely a thickly settled district. I think that if we can change the speed to 25 miles an hour, and then what we'll do is an awareness campaign, once we put those signs up, we can put out our temporary speed signs that alert you how fast you're going, and we can also do a campaign with awareness before you issue fines and go that whole pugilistic route. I've always been a big fan of when we do new things, let's go out and, conduct traffic stops, but it's awareness. Because, I'd be willing to bet dollars to donuts that the people that are there are people in morning traffic that constantly drive there. So I think if we can reduce the speed to 25 miles an hour and get the word out, I think that's going to make a difference and an impact.
It makes a lot of sense. Again, it's a very, it's a busy road for a congested road as well, and 30 miles an hour, like you said, is probably way too fast for that area there as well.
It's even fast. And the other, it had come up that putting up stop signs at those intersections, the problem is you can't regulate speed with stop signs. You can't do that.
No.
That's against the statute.
Yeah.
Okay, if we're going to regulate speed, let's regulate speed.
And that'll give them to be a little cautious when they see that sign.
Sure.
And that really helps out as well. And like you say, when you pull out to Nancy Road, now you're going on to Congress Street, and when school gets out, especially like the Brookside or the Woodland School and whatnot, you get all these kids walking by, that crosswalk intersection, and that's, like I said, it could be dangerous. And like I said, I appreciate you going up there, observing it, and making these recommendations. Tom and Mike?
In looking at speed, and the chief put in there, just so you're aware, the 80th percentile is what Mass DOT looks at. It's what the Federal Highway Administration looks at as far as speed goes. And you'll see there that the 80th percentile, 80% of the people are absolutely driving at 30 miles an hour. And you might get the one person who they measured at going at 50 miles an hour that could throw those calculations off. So that's why you look to that number. That's how they regulate putting up speed signs on highways and other places. And if you wanted to put a sign less than the 25, you would have to go through the process with Mass DOT. And part of it is they want to know what's the 80th percentile. For a longer period of time.
I see.
And the chief is absolutely correct. The manual for, it's manual of traffic control devices, which is national. A sign has to be this size. It has to be, a stop sign, an octagon. It has to be, a speed sign, white, yield sign with a triangle upside down with the red stripe. So it lays out so that you don't go from this state or this city or this town to another, and you're looking at a sign, you don't even know what they want you to do. And you can even see that if you go internationally, that many of the signs are pretty uniform. They may not even be in English-speaking language, but nevertheless, that's a yield sign, that's a stop sign. So it's very clear in the manual that you absolutely should not use stop signs to regulate speed, because the net result is people then ignore stop signs. Because if the driver thinks that the town put up a stop sign for that purpose, I'll give you the example, Hamilton Street. Those stop signs went up for one reason and only one reason. Somebody kind of knew somebody, and that they were put up to regulate the speed on Hamilton Street. It's not appropriate. Go down and enforce the statute, go down and enforce the speed limit. But stand down there someday or sit there someday. If a car stops at that stop sign, I'll give you $1 for everyone that does. They go through because they know that it's there for a meaningless reason in their view. They're coming at 30 miles an hour, which is the speed limit, and they just sail on through. They're not going to reach conflict with another vehicle. So, 4,100 vehicles, 16 that they would have issued a violation to, a money fine, it's 0.4%. There's no issue there. I agree. That's my estimation. That said, I'm going to support the chief in his recommendation. He wants to drop the speed to 25, and I understand what you said as well, Mr. Chairman, that is kind of that particular road, the road where people do come out of the neighborhood.
Right.
My experience, and I'm sure the chief would agree, and I think he said it, he was nice about it, but most of the people speeding on that roadway live in that neighborhood. Right?
True.
Right.
Where do most accidents occur?
Close to home.
Mile from home.
There you go, Michael.
Yeah.
So, I think part of the campaign is to ask people to be careful with other people's children.
Right.
So we should have a vote on that to approve this, the chief's
I make a
recommendation?
motion that we approve the chief's recommendation to reduce the speed on Nancy Road to 25 miles an hour, and that the highway surveyor post the appropriate signage in coordination with the chief.
Sure.
I would second that, Mr.
And I make that
Chairman.
unanimous. Thank you. Thank you for that, Chief, too. Next on our agenda is another request from a resident to our police department, and the police chief investigated. It's a no parking sign. And it's going to be to put a no parking sign on East Main Street, about 30 feet from Beach Street, and the chief has a...
East Street.
East Street.
Mr. Chairman, thank you.
And the chief sent an email to our town administrator. I'm requesting the Milford Select Board to approve a no parking tow zone sign on East Street, approximately 30 feet in from Beach Street. I met with local residents in an effort to mitigate the rampant parking on this section of East Street. The parking of this section of East Street has been causing serious traffic hazards for vehicles trying to turn into and out of East Street. Parked vehicles also block the handicap entrance onto the sidewalk in the area, forcing people to walk in the street. And like I said, that's a pretty powerful email. Like I said, it describes everything where it is. Definitely a problem.
Yeah, we've done a lot of work up there, Mr. Chairman, meeting, we've changed some things that, we come before the honorable board before, and we got some no parking signs, and they really helped. And it was actually a resident that brought it to my attention when I was there. He called, and I think he might have reached out to the board, and then called me, and I said, I'll meet with you, show me what you're talking about. And absolutely 110%, there's the handicap cutout, and it's compliant. It was probably recently done within the last 3 or 4 years, where it's got the yellow mat that's built into it. But it's beyond that 20-foot section that we have in our bylaw, where it's cut out. And there's cars parked in front of it. So anybody, with a disability, and I would argue that it makes us compliant with the ADA. You know
Sure it
what I'm
does,
saying?
yeah,
That we
yeah.
make that a tow zone off the road like that. Because we're trying to grab that handicap accessibility in that, And I just think it's the right thing to do. So it's twofold. Not only is the handicap accessibility blocked, but now you park in that corner at where it goes out to B Street, you can't see anything
We can't, no.
until you're in
Yeah.
it. And then it's too late.
Yeah, I went by there today, and
Yeah.
like I says, it is, a lot of traffic on Beach Street today.
Oh.
Today and always. Years ago, it wasn't. Today, this time of day, very, very busy. And like I said, to pull out there with cars parked on both sides, you're taking your life into your hands. And very important that we do comply with the ADA as well.
And the reason why I think it needs to be a tow zone and not just, so as we know in the bylaw, there's 20 feet, you can enforce that. And on a case-by-case basis, when it's an emergency, of course, the supervisor, we can remove the vehicle. But the reason why it needs to be a tow zone, because if you're somebody who is handicapped and you're looking for a spot, you have to come in and come off that sidewalk, okay? You don't have time to call the police, ticket the car,
Yeah.
wait for someone to come out and see the ticket. You need to remove the vehicle.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
So we need to have the immediate authority
Sure.
to remove this vehicle, because in my estimation, it's making us not compliant
Right.
with the ADA.
And that'll also send a message too. Once they find out if they're doing that, they could have a distinct possibility of getting their vehicle towed.
Right, right.
Where it's so close to the church, have you any thought to making it a handicap spot?
The problem is it's too close to the end of the intersection. So either way, you could make this before it a handicap spot, sure. You could put before it a handicap spot.
Yeah, just a thought.
Yeah. That ramp is right there.
That's what I'm saying. The same person that's going to be going either to the store where you can get your notary stamp or buy,
Yeah.
religious artifacts, or someone that has the ability to walk from that point or
Yeah.
mobilize up to the church. The ramp is right there.
Yeah, no, I.
It's a thought,
Yeah.
but I know exactly what you're trying to do. And in fact, that was an area, Rick, if you remember back, where we had people, the bicycles would come around the corner
Correct.
because they wanted to hit that ramp and then continue down the street.
We had some issues.
And they were hitting people. So,
We had issues, yes.
yeah, it didn't go over well. I make a motion that we approve the recommendation of the police chief.
Motion been made to approve the no parking tow zone.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
And make that unanimous. Chief, thank you. Very good reasons, and
Thank you very much.
keep up the good work. Thank you.
Keep smiling.
Thanks, Chief. See ya.
He's still on a honeymoon.
Yeah. I don't know, I don't think so.
I'm not feeling it, is it?
Yeah, no.
After today, you don't think so?
No, my socks are still wet. Thanks, take care.
Have a great night.
Yeah.
See you now. Next on the agenda is the annual license renewals. There are several pages of these. Rick, was this on our website at all or anything?
We don't put it on the website, but obviously everything is reviewed by myself, my two
Sure,
assistants.
okay.
All the
I just wanted
paperwork is in order.
to
They're
make
very,
sure that
very-
I didn't have to read every one. And
Your call.
Yeah, no.
I don't think there's a
Yeah, I
need to.
mean,
These are all renewals.
They're all renewals. We did them
I never
last
let
year
us
and the
do
years
a
before and everything else.
job putting it together.
So again, I'd entertain a motion to approve the license renewals.
I make a motion that we approve the
2024.
license renewals for 2024.
And I would second that, Mr.
I make that
Chairman.
unanimous. Thank you. Next on the agenda is attached is a list of those establishments that are requesting extension of serving hours on the New Year's Eve day. And I remember we did this the past couple of years when I was on, and like I said, hopefully, one of the reasons that we did this, that we extended this till 2 a.m. During New Year's Eve is to more or less where they would have it in a regulated environment, instead of like staying out longer, be it at a house party where there's no really guidance or regulations. When they're in an establishment that's licensed by the Select Board to serve alcohol, there's certain conditions that they have to abide by. And usually in a case like this, you're more or less in a managed and regulated environment. Sure. So I don't know if anybody, if any of my colleagues have any questions or concerns with this, or
I don't. I think there's one on there that we dealt with recently, and I hope that they have an appreciation that although we're granting this, that means that they have to keep a very, very close eye on what's taking place,
Exactly.
because we will be.
Exactly, right.
I make a motion that we approve establishments to remain open till 2 a.m. New Year's Day, and to serve all, well, based on their license, to serve alcoholic beverages. The Marcagiano Club Doubletree Hotel in Milford, Fun Zone Pins, Portuguese Club, Vienna Bar Inc., Tradicio de Roca is the business, the TBA, excuse me, TD's Pub, the Italian Vets, CT Bar Inc., doing business at Central Tavern, and Sabatino Sorrento.
Sure.
I would second that, Mr.
And I
Chairman.
make that unanimous and the best to them. Next on the agenda also is a population increase estimation of, as of July 20th, 2024. And this estimate was made with the town clerk, who used the federal guidance as well, the federal standards as well, and that's how the town clerk came up with this here. And of course, was too, especially Tom as an attorney, Chapter 138-17 would more or less base the amount of alcohol license we have on our population.
Correct.
So again, what they listed as a population as of July 10th, 2024 will be 31,000 residents. Anybody have any questions or concerns before we
That's
entertain a
based on a
motion?
formula that's given to them.
From the
So
federal-
I make a motion that we accept and approve the estimation of the town clerk with regard to the population as of July 10, 2024.
Very good.
I would
Thank you.
second that, Mr.
And I make that
Chairman.
unanimous. Thank you. Next on the agenda is St. Mary's Parish regarding a permit to obstruct a public way for a religious procession. And this is going to have it on the patroness of Ecuador on her first day on January 1st, 2024. The procession will commence at the Bubble Sports Complex on Sumner Street and proceed to St. Mary's Church, where a mass will be held at 5 p.m. The application is filled out properly. I'm sure we all had a chance to review that. I would entertain any questions or concerns if any member has. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve this application.
This is an annual event. It's taken place many, many years. So I make a recommendation that, I make a motion that we approve the request of Father Peter Joyce from St. Mary's to have the procession from the Bubble to St. Mary's Church.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
Very good, and I make that unanimous. And next on the agenda, a comprehensive plan contract that we have with the Municipal Planning Area Council for the preparation of the update of the Town of Milford's comprehensive plan. Again, a very important plan that we have to help us and guide us in the future of our town. And again, at this, one of these meetings, we did approve the Metropolitan Area Planning Council, who's a very experienced and knowledgeable in this field, to help us with this plan, and there's a contract to them. If you remember, we did get $60,000 under the Technical Assistance Program that was awarded to us, and the total was $163,000. So therefore, the amount that we do have right now in this contract is $103,000. Any questions or concerns? If everybody has any, if not, then I'll entertain a motion to approve this contract.
Chairman, I make a motion we approve the contract with the Metropolitan Planning Area Council for the preparation update of the Town of Milford's comprehensive plan.
Good. Michael?
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
And I make that unanimous. Thank you very much. Next on our agenda is invitation to speak. No one here, no one online, okay. Correspondence, any member have any correspondence?
I do not. Thank you.
Michael?
No, Mr.
No.
Chairman.
And there is no executive session. Therefore, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Chairman, I make a motion that we adjourn the regular session.
And I would second that, Mr.
And I make
Chairman.
that unanimous. And on behalf of the Select Board, for those watching, we want to wish you and yours a wonderful holiday season. May your holidays be filled with good company, good food, and good times. Wishing you all the best. myself and my colleagues. Happy holidays. Thank you for tuning in.